G'day mates, just making a quick video for Raden, Raden Weakaura, for some dudes on Reddit who are struggling with it. First thing you need to do is the Weakaura Raden auto assign. Make sure you've got the right one from Wago, make sure it's up to date. Set up your ERT note like this. You want for Team 1 some mobile range DPS. For Team 2 you want some melee. These guys here, like Bug and Valor, they are Holy Paladins. You should definitely take advantage of them. They don't really have a lot to do in the first phase. So regarding your markers, what you're going to do is put down a marker for purple about there. So this marker is where the melee are going to stand during the first ball phase. So the first ball combo where you get Beta and Nightmare. And then you're going to want to put a red marker about there. When Raden is up, it should be just to the right of him, when we're looking at it. So as a melee DPS, I'm just kind of chilling here. And purple marker could even be like here. It doesn't really matter. It's just up against the wall. So all the melee are here. And then what that means is that the guy who's getting the red next can stand about here. And he's still hitting Raden, because in this circumstance, Raden is tanked here. After the pull, I should say, because on the pull you tank Raden over here. This is so that ranged DPS who are in this area can hit the orbs, the shadow orb that comes in. All the melee should be spread around, etc. As soon as the red pops, and the melee will get their debuffs, and that sorts itself out, then you can just move the boss over to kind of here. So all the melee are behind it. You got melee. The melee who's going to take the red debuff next. This kind of chills here. Whichever person gets the red debuff. So using a Warlock Gateway is really helpful from say here to there. For range to tunneling the orb and go, oh fuck, I've got the red on me. Okay, click Gateway. I'm at red. This will be pretty much the perfect spacing, such that the edge of the red circle should be about here. And so a melee can just stand right next to it, be guaranteed the closest person, while still hitting Raden and all the ads and just pumping their damage. And then they'll just cycle through. I'll get it. I'll go to red. The next guy who was at purple will move over to there, and then it'll jump to me. Alright. The next markers you need for phase 1 are yellow and orange. I generally put them here. These are wider than you see in a lot of videos. We just did it this way because we had issues with the Vita bouncing into the melee group. And you can just make them a bit wider apart. You might run into range issues if your tanks don't tank the boss in the right location. Like if they creep at around the corner a little bit, the person on yellow is going to have range issues. So it's important that the boss stays here. And then maybe if they need to move like 1 or 2 yards forward to keep hitting, it's not the end of the world. They're at max range, it's fine. While the majority of the range group is going to be in this area. And the Vita's going to bounce. And then you're going to do that. And then the next orb sets are going to come. So we're going to be killing Vita, and we're going to be killing Void. So this is when the next 2 sets of markers come into play, and this is where the Weakaura makes a dog's breakfast of it, which is why I'm actually making this video. So we need some opposites for the yellow and orange. So green is yellow, and orange will be moon. So what's going to happen is that the Weakaura can't tell the difference between the first Vita jumps that you get in the first orb phase and the Vita jumps that you're going to get in the third orb phase. It also can't tell the difference between the red debuffs you get in the first orb phase and the red debuffs you get in the second orb phase. So because it can't tell the difference, it's going to give you the same instructions, which means go to red if you have red, or go to orange or yellow if you have Vita. And that becomes wrong later. So once we get in the second orb phase, we're going to be killing Vita. Nightmare will hit the boss. I don't know. Yeah, we kill Vita. Yeah, we kill Vita. And then when Nightmare hits the boss, and then we take the boss over there. We a boss goes over to around here, the void will hit it. Now because the Nightmare Orb will hit Raden very quickly, it means that the red debuffs will come out very quickly. Oh, actually, Raden will still be tanked over here, so the Nightmare Orb will come and hit Raden very quickly. The first person to get the red debuffs takes it to green in this phase, not red, right? So this is one of those things you just have to know, right? So, shit, I've got the red around me, but it's a second orb phase, not the first. I'm going to go to green. If they run it to red, they're just going to bomb the entire melee group and the tanks as they're trying to cross to Skull, and then all of them are going to be debuffed, and then none of them are going to be able to do the void bounces, and you're just going to die very, very quickly. You just need to get it over to green. Now, this isn't a hard must be on green or death type scenario. It's a get over to this side of the room type scenario, so it bounces to ranged people, right? So the very first one will come out while you're still hitting the Vita. So the guy with that, once your ranged players are comfortable with this, will realize he doesn't actually have to run to green. He just has to make sure it doesn't get into the melee group. So I'm going to keep hitting the Vita orb, and there's a friendly Moonkin who's in my team, or a Warlock or something who's not stupid, and he's going to be like, well, I'm just going to stand here to make sure it goes to me, who's also a ranged DPS, while I hit the Vita. And then the next guy, he's going to get it, and then he's going to run it over to this side. Not all the way to the green, he doesn't have to, depending on the position of the players. This might be far enough. And then it's going to bounce to this person, who's then going to run it over, and then repeat another time, and then you're done. Which is important it doesn't get into the melee group or hit any of the melee in this particular time, because they're going to be running over here, and then the Void Orb's going to come out, it's going to hit the boss, and then we're going to start getting the Void Puddles spawning, and we're going to be hitting the boss, and we're going to have to run out for the first one, and angle it towards the wall, and what have you, and we've got our own jobs to do. The next part is the Vita in the third orb phase. So you drag Raden over, the orb comes out, hits him. The Vita's orb is coming across, everyone's pumping the Nightmare Orb. We drag it over, and important two things at this stage. One is that the Void Portals are going to start spawning a lot earlier than you've got the boss in position. So whoever's in the melee, so you see on this, I'm actually first, so my character Hammurabi. When I'm hitting these ads and the boss, there's usually the Void ad is dead, and the Nightmare ad might be like 20%, and we're just hitting that. And then the first things are going to come out, and then I'm going to just angle myself towards the stairs, stand in it, lose a couple of seconds DPS, that's fine, punt it towards the stairs, and keep hitting. And then the Holy Paladin Lagbug is next. He's going to come in, and he's going to grab this from where it landed, and then punt it towards the stairs. The thing that will wipe you a lot is melee not, if you're not on the ball with this, punt, is that melee aren't going to be watching where they're kicking the Shadow Orb, because you don't want to kick it between the green marker and the moon marker, because the Vita's going to be bouncing there. And the number of times I've seen the second kick, so not my one, but Lagbug's kick, end up here, and then he goes to stand in it, and it goes off and needs to be kicked a fraction, like 0.2 of a second after the Vita goes off. So there's not enough time for him to wait for the Vita and then run in. Simply can't be done. And if he stands in it, he's going to get killed by the Vita a fraction of a second before his kick goes off, and then his kick will get missed, and then we'll wipe. So you need to make sure that the kicks get done like around the green, and it's really not that hard if the first person kicking knows what they're doing, which is why I put myself in that role, and I kind of kick it like this way, so it lands here, and then the next guy can kick it up onto the stairs, and then we all get up on the stairs about here, and we just keep kicking and hitting the boss. Sometimes if you're slack with your positioning, you'll end up spawning it down here, and someone will have to drop off the stairs and go get it. Obviously, they need to do that, otherwise you're going to wipe. Therefore, it's the most important priority. It's more important than your damage, but it's not ideal. But that being said, at this point in the fight, you've got so much damage that you shouldn't be worried to lose that kind of damage anyway. And because we hero at the start of the fight, that's our last void set, and then we just bring Raden in the middle of the room onto the blue, and then we finish the fight, spread out in a circle, and so on and so forth. So yeah, the thing about the Weakaura is you need to know that the second Nightmares go to the green, and the second Vitas get bounced between green and moon. So if you get a yellow for the second Vita, you need to know that that actually has been green, not yellow. And if you get a moon for the second Vita, so if you get orange for second Vita, you need to know that means a moon and not orange. That's basically it for the Weakaura and how it's actually going to play out in practicality. The only other part is people not noticing when they're on backups, right? Because it does. There's nothing about the Weakaura that grabs your attention really and says, "Hey, you're going to be on backup." What happens is a little /say comes out above your name. So one thing that I found useful is I made a Weakaura that comes up on my screen, says "Do your mechanic," and the trigger is my name being said in chat. So if my name ever comes up in chat, this Weakaura flash up. It only flashes up for like a second or two. It doesn't just sit there. But it goes, "Hey, Hammurabi, you've got to go do something." And I go, "Oh, okay." And I have a look at my chat box. And I go, "Oh shit, it wants me to get yellow, and I sleep over here." Whatever the case may be. All right, so that should have you sorted for the Weakaura. The rest is just practice, and getting your positioning right, and making sure that your raiders are doing the same thing every pull. They're not running to random spots. They're not changing the targets they hit, so they're different every time. Right, you need consistency in order to get the fight down. Hope that was helpful, and good luck with your kills.